Okay, so here we're going to take a look at a monopoly industry. Characteristics of a monopoly: one firm in the industry, high barriers to entry, no direct competition. They're also called the price searcher, which we'll see here in a second. So what I've got is I got the price and the quantity. So basically I've got demand for the monopoly's product. See, at $11 nobody's buying, $10 one person buys, $9 two people buy on down the line. So the monopoly can't just charge whatever price they want, because at some point the people aren't going to buy. They're a price searcher. They want to decide a price that's going to maximize their profits. The next column I've got total revenue. Total revenue, you know, is just price times the quantity. So $11 times 0 is 0. $10 times one person buying is $10. $9 times 2 for 18 on down the line. Next column I've got is marginal revenue. So we're just looking at the gap. Between here and here it was 10. Between here and here it was 8. Here and here it was 6 on down the line. Notice at the end here the marginal revenue actually goes negative. Also, compare marginal revenue with price. Here it's 10, here it's 10. Here it's 8, here it's 9. Here it's 6, then it's 8 over here. So you can see these marginal revenue numbers are trailing behind the price. That's going to become important here in a second. Now, if we look at this on the graph, we've got a downward sloping demand curve as always. That's your price line. That's also your average revenue line, and it's also your demand curve. It's average revenue because if you decide that you want to charge $8 and you're charging everybody $8, that's your average revenue as well. As we saw with the numbers, marginal revenue actually trails behind that PARD line, and it actually went negative. So there's our marginal revenue. The curves that will stay the same are those cost curves, like marginal cost. So here, marginal cost, I'm putting it in blue because it's one of those cost curves that's the same in every single market. I can also show the average total cost. So I'll show the average total cost down here. It forms a parabola. The low point of average total cost is always intersecting with marginal cost. The other thing that always stays the same is the idea that we're producing up to the point where MR equals MC. Here's marginal revenue. Here's marginal cost. Here's where they're equal. Trace down from there, and we find the quantity that's going to maximize profits. If we want to figure out the price that's going to maximize profits, we have to trace up to the price line from where MR equals MC. So trace up to the price line, then trace over. Here I've got the price that the monopoly is going to set. Last thing, if we want to find the profit of the business, trace up look for where MR equals MC. Look at that point where it hits ATC. So I went from where MR equals MC. I found from that point I traced down to where I hit ATC. Then I can trace up to where I find average revenue and trace over. So it forms this box. So what I'm shading in here in pink represents the gap between average revenue and average total cost. So this pink box here is a profit. The business, since it's a monopoly, can keep that profit for the long run because entry into the market is not possible because there's such high barriers to entry. Unlike perfect competition, the business can see profits for the long run.